If we don't have the basics, if we don't have a good grasp of what marketing is and where we could go wrong, then no matter what medium we have out there, as we'll discuss here in just a minute, we're probably going to experience some struggles.
I love bookkeeping.
Hey everybody, it's Ben Robinson and welcome to the I Love Bookkeeping show. And today we're going to talk about some marketing basics. And really this is so important. This is foundational. And this is where a lot of people, when I evaluate their marketing, when I take a look at even other businesses that don't get their marketing right, it's because they violate what we're going to discuss here today. Because I know that we're all about getting clients, and not just getting any clients, about getting better clients. And marketing is one of the big things that we talk about here on the I Love Bookkeeping show. And so today what I want to do is I want to break this down to its fundamental elements, because this is, again, where most people get things wrong. And if we don't have the basics, if we don't have a good grasp of what marketing is and where we could go wrong, then no matter what medium we have out there, as we'll discuss here in just a minute, we're probably going to experience some struggles. So marketing is made up of three big components. And you may have heard me talk about this when we've done interviews in the past, but I want to really break this down here today because, again, this is where most people get it wrong. But the three elements of marketing: number one is your market. Number two is your message. And number three is your medium. Okay. So it is your market. It is your message. It is your medium. And the very first thing that we have to get really solid on and understand is our market. That is of utmost importance. 40% of your success in marketing is all about the market. The other 40% or another 40% is about the message that you're saying to that market. And only 20% is the medium. Okay. And we'll dive into what those are here in just a minute. But let's break down market. Now, one of the principles that we have here is that you must niche. It's very important that you work toward a niche, serving one industry or serving one type of client. That might be personality. It might be some other attributes, but normally it's an industry. And for me, that was dentists. And so I was able to really dive into the dentistry niche. I was able to understand them. I was able to speak their language. I knew exactly what they were going to say. I knew the objections they had. I knew the goals that they wanted to achieve, at least from a global type of standpoint. And then I could go and drill down to the specific client. But imagine if I had dentistry and I had a retail store and I had a veterinarian and I had this, that, and the other type of businesses. There is no way that I could go and understand everything that I need to know about that business because I'm a generalist. Now, I could understand, 80% of it is all the same, whether it's accounting, bookkeeping, tax. 80% of our knowledge is going to work. It doesn't matter what type of client. But that other 20% is very important. And that's really where people will pay you. And we always talk about, value billing and what all that stuff is. But really, it boils down to helping your market to achieve their goals, helping them to define their goals, helping them to really take their business in the direction that they want to go. So where most people get it wrong is that they try to serve too big a market. They say small business owners is my market. That is way too big. It's way too broad. There are so many nuances that can happen between each individual small business that it's impossible for you to dive down. Now, once you've decided on a niche, you need to also go in there and understand what it is that they want. There's a rule of formula that you can use here, and that's called the jobs, pains, and gains. The jobs are the roles they play in the business that they really don't want to. For example, my dentist, he could be up at the office on weekends working in QuickBooks, doing reconciliations, or it could not be getting done. But he knows in the back of his mind that he needs to do that. That's a job. Okay. Pain. Okay. So what's a pain that my dentist, what does she experience in her day-to-day life as it relates to her practice? Okay. So people come to her with pain, right? They've got a sore tooth that needs to be taken out, whatever the case may be. And she alleviates that pain. So what is the pain point or pain points that your business owner, that your market has that you can help to alleviate? Now with dentistry, I knew that it was really about 4 to 5 specific pain points that I needed to go in and help them with. And there was about 2 job roles that they needed help with or needed to get off of their plate. Okay, so jobs and pains. Now the other thing is gains. What are the things that they want from their business? Why did they start this? Okay, these are things that you can help them to achieve. And when you define your market and you really dive into it, market definition is one thing. But now going and understanding that market, understanding that the jobs that they play that they don't want to, the pains that they have that they want to avoid, and the gains that they have, okay, the gains that they want to have, that's That's crucial for your success, okay, in marketing. And once we have done that, once we have clearly defined our market and we understand them, and by the way, this is never a set it and forget it. This is not something that you're going to achieve. This is something that's going to be a journey for your entire career. And that's exciting for me because I get to learn more about this industry. It becomes a puzzle. It's exciting because I'm not just doing data entry or transactions or even preparing financial statements. I'm going so much deeper. And that only happens if I've clearly defined my market and understand them like no one else. That's the very first M. Get clear on your market before you do any type of marketing. Now, once you have done that, you have a message. Okay. So now that you understand your market, what are you going to say to them? What are you going to do to make their ears perk up? What are you going to do to heed attention from these prospective clients? Now, if you're able to speak the language and you've worked with these clients, I could go into a prospective dentist's office, whether that was physical or virtual, and immediately I could start identifying things and I could say a message. I could say the things, the pains that they're experiencing, the gains before they ever had to mention a word, because I knew in my mind what they were struggling with. Now, I would typically drill down to understand, no pun intended there with dentists, but I would drill down to understand exactly what their pain point was, because even though it could be, hey, I'm, bleeding cash, it could be a number of different ways. It could be, that their lab expenses were too high. It could be that they're paying too much staff in the office. I could look at their income statement immediately or in their balance sheet or their statement of cash flows if they had one, and I could start speaking their language. That's a message. Now, if you're going to do advertising, if you're going to do networking, whether that's in person or online, it's important that you understand what they want. It's important that you convey that message to them. And again, that only happens when you've clearly defined a specific market. So the message, we really can't go into crafting what that is here today because it's an arduous task, but it's something that's definitely worth it. But the thing that you're trying to do, what you're trying to come out with is a value proposition statement. A value proposition statement. Google it. We'll probably do a session on that here, just how you create your value proposition statement. You could call it an elevator pitch, but it's so much more than that. This is the real value that you bring to the table when you're serving a prospective client. This is what you do to help them alleviate those pains, to eliminate those jobs, and to get the gains that they want. It all boils down to your value proposition. We went through that as all of our organizations. We go through that, and we've got a 28-page document that drills down to get to the value proposition statement. So this is not something that you're going to do in an hour. This is not something, again, that you set it and forget it. This is something that evolves. This is something that you craft over the course of your career, and it gets better and better. If I go back and look at the very first one of these that we did 4 years ago, it pretty much sucks compared to what we have here today. But really refining that message, okay? Listening to your clients, paying attention to the things that they're saying, the things that they're not saying, so that you can craft that message, okay? So that's the second part. You know your market. Now you have your message. Now we get to the medium. And this is where I see a lot of bookkeeping professionals go awry. Okay, they say and they hear from somebody, you know what? I'm crushing it doing Facebook ads. I'm doing great going to Chamber of Commerce. I'm doing great with the QuickBooks Pro Advisor listing, directory listing, and all that sort of thing. And that might be a great place for you. But what you have to first do is to say, where's my market? Where do they hang out? Okay, are they on Facebook? Do they go to physical networking events? Is there a big dentistry show that they go to? Is there a trade show? Where are they? Okay. And if we don't have that market clearly defined, then how can we go over here and say media? How can we say which media that we want to use? Now, I'll give you a key right here. Your market is going to be in a number of places, and you want to intercept them wherever they are. So if there's a great Facebook group that's specific to your niche, to your market, you want to be in there providing value. You want to be in there answering questions. You want to be seen as an authority. And don't go into these. We'll actually do one about online networking here in one of the shows that we'll do. But you get in there and you're adding value to the conversation. You're not asking for clients. You're in there with a give first mentality. But it all starts with that market, that message, and then saying, where are they? They may be on LinkedIn. They may, again, have a Friday study group that they do once a month. That's what happened with our dentists. And they love people to come and talk to them and share information. And I never went in there with a sales pitch or anything like that. I pretty much gave them a ton of value, gave them some resources. And more times than not, I would walk away with a couple of leads from that and clients eventually. But again, we go into this with a value first mentality. So there we have the 3 M's of marketing. Make sure that you first clearly define your market. What are the jobs, pains, and gains that they have so that you can craft your message. And then, and only then, do you go to the specific media and start advertising. Now, this could be paid. It could be non-paid. It could be going to a networking event. All those things I consider to be advertising. We could also call it awareness. Them being made aware that you exist. So as you start to think about this now, are you developing that niche? Again, it's not something, if you have clients that, let's say you have 30 clients and they represent 10 different industries, it's not something that you just, jump ship on and start a niche and get rid of all the other clients. That's typically not the wise thing to do. But what we do is we start to market all of our new clients, the new prospective clients, into this niche. And hopefully over time, we can start really drilling down, maybe paring down our least favorite clients, the ones that don't fit into our mold, the ones that are just pains in the butt. You know who they are. And this is something that we evolve and do over time. So again, I just want to encourage you to really get focused, to understand these ABCs of marketing, because it's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of money, a lot of stress. And the most important thing, it's going to attract those quality clients to you. Okay, so that's it for today's I Love Bookkeeping show. I encourage you to go to alleviate.com because we have all the shows there. We have the notes and we got a lot of other goodies for you. So head on over to alleviate.com. This has Ben Robinson, and until next time, I just want to say thank you for being a great bookkeeping professional. Head on over to ilovebookkeeping.com. There, you're going to find all of the shows, the notes, and some other great goodies that we have for you there. Now, if you'd like to be a guest on the I Love Bookkeeping show, there is a link that says Be a Guest. Go in there and we'll walk you through the process of getting on the show. And finally, to discover more about our programs, go to the courses page on the ilovebookkeeping.com site. There you have it, another great episode of I Love Bookkeeping. Thank you for being a proud listener, and thank you for being a bookkeeping professional. Enjoy the rest of your week.
I love bookkeeping. Here's a little shout to all my friends working hard at keeping the books. You want to change your life, you want to grow that